Have you ever looked at a piece of code and thought to yourself, this isn't English? This is alien language? Maybe it's a weird loop, a function with 20 lines, or an error message that makes absolutely no sense. You stare at it, you Google it, you watch a tutorial, and still nothing clicks. Honestly, most people see code and think, this is not for me. Coding is too hard. But what if I told you that? Today, right now, we have AI tools that can take those impossible looking lines of code and explain them to you in simple words, as if you were 5 years old. No jargon, no confusion, no endless scrolling through Stack Overflow, just crystal clear understanding. Stick with me for the next few minutes, because I'm going to show you how this works, why it's changing the game for beginners and professionals, and how you can use this to finally understand coding without giving up halfway. Let's start with the real problem. If you've ever tried learning coding, you know the pain. You open a tutorial, but the instructor talks like a robot. You copy the code, but you don't really understand what's happening. You get an error, and suddenly the screen explodes with scary red text. What do? You jump to Google. You open 5 tabs of documentation, 10 tabs of Stack Overflow, and after 1 hour, you're even more confused than when you started. This is why most beginners quit coding after a few weeks. Not because they can't code, but because they don't have someone to explain it to them in plain words. Here's where AI comes in. Imagine this. You paste your code into the AI, and within seconds, it explains exactly what's going on, but not in some complicated textbook way. It uses analogies, real-life examples, even stories to make sure you get it. For example, let's say you have this scary-looking loop. You know, the one that runs 10 times and does something complicated inside? The AI explains. Think of it like eating 10 cookies from a jar, one by one until the jar is empty. Boom! Suddenly, you're not memorizing syntax. You're actually understanding the logic. And here's the best part. Once you understand it in simple terms, you'll never forget it. Let me give you another example. Maybe you've seen this terrifying error. Nope, sounds like rocket science.
Right.
But AI explains it like this. Relax. You're just trying to open an empty box. Instantly, the fear disappears. Instead of panicking, you laugh. Woo! You get it. And that's what makes learning fun. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, but can't I just Google the error? Sure, but here's the truth. Google gives you 10 different explanations, half of them too advanced, and most of them filled with jargon. AI, on the other hand, adapts to your level of understanding. If you're a beginner, it explains like you're new. If you're advanced, it dives deeper. It's like having a personal tutor who speaks your language. And let's be honest, who doesn't want a tutor available 24/7? No judgment, no waiting, no long courses. Whether it's 9 in the morning or 3 a.m., AI is ready to explain your code in seconds. That's why students, developers, even professionals are using it daily. Now, here's what's really powerful. AI isn't just about explaining code, it also teaches you how to think like a programmer. For example, you paste in some confusing code, AI explains it, and then you start seeing the patterns. You learn why a loop is used instead of repeating lines, why a function makes code reusable, or why errors happen in the first place. Slowly, your brain starts to think in logic instead of panic. And that is the real secret to becoming a programmer. Let's expand this idea with a scenario. Imagine you're building your first website. You copy a code, snip it online, paste it, and boom, it doesn't work. Normally, you'd spend hours troubleshooting, but with AI, you paste the code. Ask, why isn't this working? And it replies, you forgot a closing bracket. It's like writing a story without putting a full stop. That's it, a simple fix, explained in a way you'll never forget. Now, instead of wasting 3 hours, you move forward in 3 minutes. Here is something else AI does that I love. It can explain the same piece of code in multiple ways. For example, if you don't understand an analogy about cookies, you can ask, explain this like I'm a beginner gamer. and boom, it will explain using a gaming example instead. This flexibility makes it a better teacher than most humans. But wait, let me pause and ask you something. Are you starting to see how much easier coding could be if you had this kind of explanation every single time? If yes, hit that like button right now. Because I promise you, this is just the beginning of how AI can change the way you learn. Now, let's talk about something even more exciting. Building confidence. A lot of people think coding is only for geniuses. But that's a myth. Coding is just logic. And logic can be explained in simple steps. AI helps break that barrier. When you understand code clearly, your confidence grows. Instead of feeling scared of error messages, you start to feel curious. You start experimenting. And that's when real learning happens. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. Without support, you fall again and again, but with training wheels, you gain balance, and eventually, you don't need them. AI is like those training wheels. At first, you rely on it to explain everything, but over time, you start predicting the answers yourself. That's when you realize, I can code. Now, let's be practical. You might be wondering, okay, but which AI tools can I use? There are many out there. ChatGPT, Copilot, and even specialized code explainers. You don't need anything fancy to start. Just pick one, paste your code, and ask it to explain in simple terms. Trust me, the first time you see a scary error explained like a kid's story, you'll be hooked. So here's my challenge for you. After this video, grab any piece of code, maybe from a tutorial you didn't understand, or an old project you abandoned, and paste it into an AI tool. Ask it, explain this like I'm new to coding. See how it changes your perspective. Then, in the comments below, tell me what code you tried and how AI explained it. I'll pick some of your examples and break them down in the next video. Now, before we wrap this up, let me say this. The future of coding isn't just about writing code. It's about understanding it. The old way was memorizing syntax, struggling with errors, and feeling stuck. The new way is learning with clarity, building with confidence, and using AI as your partner, not your replacement. With AI, every error feels like a small puzzle. Every line of code feels like a story, and every project becomes achievable. So, if you don't want to miss out on this revolution, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to this channel right now, because in the next videos, I'll be showing you, step by step, how to actually use AI to learn faster, debug smarter, and finally, build the projects you've been dreaming of. Hit the like button. If this opened your eyes, share it with your coding buddies who always get stuck. And don't forget to comment your toughest error message. I'll turn it into an easy explanation in my next video. Remember this, coding doesn't have to feel like rocket science. With AI, it can feel as simple as storytelling. And once you understand it, nothing can stop you.